I never imagined that uncovering betrayal could strike like a lightning bolt in what I thought was the safest corner of my life. My name is Ryan, and I have been engaged to Emily for nearly 3 years. On the surface, everything looked flawless. Friends admired us, family adored us, and even strangers complimented how perfectly we fit together. But perfection is always only skin deep. Beneath it, hidden truths wait for the moment to surface. It all began on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Emily had gone out to meet friends, and I was home alone, tidying up the apartment before the week began. A nagging unease had been growing inside me for weeks, a subtle change in her behavior I tried to ignore. She had become secretive with her phone, spending hours in her study and closing her laptop quickly whenever I walked past. At first, I chalked it up to stress or needing personal space. But that quiet instinct inside me whispered otherwise. I decided to check her laptop, not out of malice, but because that gut feeling wouldn't leave me alone. Unlocking it was simple. She had left it unattended, logged in. I hesitated for a moment, reminding myself that trust is the foundation of any relationship. But hesitation gave way to action, and what I found shattered everything I believed. Emails, messages, and photos hidden in cleverly named folders revealed an ongoing affair. Meticulous, deliberate, undeniable. The man she was seeing was someone from work, someone she assumed I would never suspect. Shock and disbelief collided within me. I reread a message where she called him my escape and planned to meet him even on days she was supposed to spend with me. Rage surged, but so did a strange, cold clarity. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a deception so carefully woven that I never saw it coming. And now I had proof. Real, undeniable proof. I sank into my chair, staring at the screen, caught between grief and determination. The woman I had planned my life would have been living a lie. Part of me wanted to confront her immediately, scream, demand answers. But another part knew that confrontation alone wouldn't suffice. This was bigger than a fight in our apartment. It was about exposing the truth, holding her accountable, and protecting myself from further heartbreak. After pacing and weighing my options for hours, I knew what had to be done. This was no longer a private matter. It was a betrayal that extended to those who had trusted her and me, her parents. They deserved to know the truth she had hidden so carefully. And for me, once I told them, there would be no going back. Every tie to the life I had built with her would be severed, and I would need to disappear from her world entirely to preserve my sanity. The next day, I drove to Emily's parent house, carrying my laptop like a loaded confession. My hands were steady, but my chest felt tight, weighed down by the truth I was about to reveal. I had rehearsed my words a dozen times, yet nothing seemed adequate for the gravity of the betrayal. When her father opened the door, surprise registered in his eyes, quickly replaced by curiosity. Her mother followed behind, smiling, unsuspecting, entirely unaware that their perfect daughter had been hiding a life of deceit. I didn't start with accusations. I simply said I had something important to show them. In the living room, I opened the laptop, navigating to the folders, letting the evidence speak for itself. Emails, photos, text threads, every detail meticulously documented. Their expressions shifted from confusion to disbelief, then to hurt. Her father's hands clenched the sofa arm tightly. Her mother's eyes glistened, fixed somewhere between shock and sorrow. "You need to see this," I said quietly, calm but firm. "This isn't a misunderstanding. It's been going on for months." They watched silently as reality unfolded. Every secret she had guarded, every lie whispered to protect herself, lay bare. The betrayal wasn't mine alone. It touched them too. Though not by choice, they had trusted her just as I had. And now, the truth could not be denied. After what felt like hours of silence, her mother whispered, "I can't believe she did this." Her voice trembled under the weight of disbelief. I nodded, understanding the enormity of the moment. Emily had taken for granted so much. My trust, her parents' love, and the stability of a relationship that once seemed unbreakable. Yet she had been careless enough to leave a trail that could no longer be hidden. I left their house knowing my role was complete. Exposing her betrayal wasn't about revenge. It was about justice and clarity. The weight of knowledge now rested with her parents and me. But disappearing from her life entirely would be the final act of control, the ultimate reclaiming of my peace. I would remove myself from her orbit, erase her from my routines, my thoughts, and my future. No confrontation, no anger, no pleading, just disappearance. A quiet, unspoken assertion that my life, trust, and heart were no longer hers to manipulate. Walking back to my car, I felt a strange mix of relief and emptiness. I had done what needed to be done, but the consequences were undeniable. The woman I loved, or thought I did, was no longer part of my world. Her parents knew the truth, and she would eventually learn that her carefully constructed lies had been shattered. That evening, I returned to my apartment and began planning my departure. I packed lightly, taking only the essentials, because this was about running away. It was about leaving a life that no longer belonged to me. Every item I touched reminded me of the moments Emily and I had shared, moments now tainted by duplicity. I paused at a photo on my bedside table, a candid shot of us, smiling at the beach last summer. The memory was sharp, painful, but it steeled my resolve. That version of my life was gone. It was time to step out completely. Before leaving, I sent a single control message to Emily. I told your parents everything. Do not contact me. You will not find me. No explanation. No pleading. Nothing left to say. Final, deliberate, calm, a boundary she had long ignored. I knew she would panic, reach for excuses, for tears, for apologies, but none of it could undo what had been done. Her betrayal had consequences, and I was no longer willing to endure the fallout. Driving through the city that night, I felt an unexpected clarity. Anger had faded, replaced by something heavier, something truer. Freedom. The weight of trust, once broken, could never be restored to its original form. I had given her everything, love, honesty, loyalty, and she had squandered it. By disappearing, I was reclaiming what was mine, my peace, my dignity, and my future. Every mile between myself and our shared life was a step toward healing, and understanding that some people are meant only to teach lessons, not to stay as partners. I didn't look back. I didn't check my phone. I didn't glance at the apartment as it disappeared behind me. The life I was leaving, the relationship, the shared dreams, the empty promises, was a closed chapter. What lay ahead was uncertain, but it was mine to define. I realized something essential. Betrayal leaves scars, but it can also offer a rare gift, perspective. The world looks different when you step out a lie that held you captive. Those who hurt you, no matter how close, cannot dictate your worth or your path unless you allow them. By dawn, I was already on the outskirts of the city, horizon stretching endlessly ahead. I had no destination, only direction. Forward. Emily's betrayal had been a turning point, one that could have destroyed me if I let it. Instead, I chose to disappear, leaving deceit and heartbreak behind, carrying only the lessons and the knowledge that some truths, no matter how painful, set you free. And in that freedom, I finally felt alive again, ready to face a world where trust, once earned, would be guarded, cherished, and never taken for granted.